Hello, our friends, Evolutionary Energy Arts family.
Hi there.
Hope everybody is doing okay out there today.
Absolutely.
It was interesting to see all the responses when we were talking about does anybody feel like foggy, tired, headache, dizzy? And man, it seems like almost everybody is.
Oh, yesterday was really horrible, and I saw a lot of people who had said they had flu-like symptoms, didn't want to get out of bed, major headaches. So there's a lot going on, and it's affecting us as a whole.
I think the sun's affecting us more than we realize, and maybe even just also just cosmic rays in general. As we're going through this period, we don't know exactly how far down our magnetosphere is. I know there's people like Mavstar. Gosh, who else was it? There was a couple other people that have been trying to keep their own observations and figures because, we don't really get updated on this, and it feels like it's purposeful.
It does feel very purposeful, and they're not going to tell us exactly what's going on, but we are evolving.
About a year and a half, 2 years ago, I was keeping track of all the planes that were having issues, and there was a ton of them, and I just haven't been keeping up with that as far as the little occurrences, the little Cessnas and things like that. Because I'm wondering and I'm questioning how much of this is going on because of atmospheric changes, because of plasma, because of the decreased magnetosphere.
I know, we're just not sure about that.
So now we got two Boeing planes suffering rear engine failures in 2 days, with literally parts breaking off over populated areas. Actually, two people in the Netherlands were injured from pieces falling from the sky. As you see, this is from a Twitter video. That's scary. That is super scary, and we know how packed the skies are. It brings me to that movie, How It Ends. How It Ends, where there's some sort of strange thing that happens on the West Coast. They never tell you in the movie. All we know is that it seems like there was maybe a big quake, tsunami, but you got military planes flying. You wonder if it's, an act of war or if it was just natural. You never know. They don't tell you, sorry to blow the movie.
Yeah.
But there's planes that are just coming out of the sky. So, what was up with that? Was it CME? Was it, EMP? There have been a lot of cases, unusual cases. Now, is this just a problem with Boeing 777s? It could be. It could be.
I don't know. I don't think that should be a problem at any point ever. I mean, this is one of those things in life where you just expect things to go kind of normal.
Yeah, so UA 328 departed from Denver National Airport almost an hour late. Oof, boy, that brings back some memories for me too. I forget where I was. I think I was flying from New Mexico back to Ohio, and we were catching a plane, and it got delayed by like 6 hours. It kept getting delayed more and more because of engine problems. And then when that plane took off, oh my God, I never heard an engine like that before. It was whining, it was shaking. Everybody on the plane, including the stewardesses, were all looking nervous. But when we got to cruising altitude, then it stopped. It went away. Whew, man, that was scary. I can imagine what these people went through.
I know, just looking at that's traumatizing big time.
So the flight was expected to last 7 hours, 30 minutes. However, the flight ends up lasting just 30. So I guess most of the stress, it makes sense, most of the stress is on initial takeoff. And yeah, that's scary. That is really scary. And then they had to make an emergency landing. Mayday, mayday. Man, you don't want to hear that when you're up in the air. And as you can see the photos here. Now, and then we had another one over the Netherlands, too, raining down pieces of its engine. I think it was the same side, too. Who knows? They'll give us an answer. We'll see if we believe it.
Right, exactly, if you believe it.
Meanwhile, filament eruption produces partial halo CME, glancing below as expected to hit us probably on the 23rd or 24th.
Actually, I heard that could be for us where we're at, somewhere between 8 and 10 hours from nowish.
Well, we'll see what happens with this. Again, This is supposed to be a glancing blow, but it does seem like every time we get anything going on, you'll see an increase. You'll see some big ones. Maybe they'll tell us they're 7.5 quakes, but they're really 8.0 or better. So, be on the aware, be on the aware, be on the lookout, be prepared,
Yes.
guys. Just be prepared for whatever, because look at Texas, right? Who expected that, really?
Well, if you can, just be home.
Yeah, exactly, and have backup plans as well. So, these our brother Mark over at Wages World was covering and talking about. He does a great job as well. And, we are going to get into a period of more activity, that's for sure. And, the likelihood for bigger earthquakes and volcanic activity is going to, it's probably going to increase from this, as well as just the storms, too. So here we see Brazil, over 100,000 people hit by floods as rivers overflow and occur. And, look at the scenery there. You can see how many buildings, houses, and stuff are inundated. We might not have what Al Gore was talking about, with the poles melting, but we sure have a lot of flooding going on. And we have more than 59,000 people fleeing, as we have basically the Philippines impacted. We were talking about this yesterday, and now you could see, again, look where the water's going. It's I love living by the beach. 17 years, I lived 2 blocks from the beach. I could smell it every morning, every night. Have the windows open, and you could smell the sea air. I miss it a lot. And actually, when I first moved inland, it made me almost panic. I couldn't stand the feeling of not being by the water. But in these times, you got to be careful where you are.
Wow, and the water might move to you anyhow.
Yeah, as you can see, look at how it's inundating in again. So many people, again, with flood damage, and as you guys know, we've been looking at land forever and property, and, who knows? Maybe we'll end up back in Death Valley at some point. We do have a little plot of land over there. Costs a couple $1,000, and, it's money in the bank, as Death Valley will turn green at some point.
At some point, indeed.
It might be the only place that doesn't get flooding, by the way this is going.
It could be.
Yeah, it's really wild. And by the way, Bermuda's hurricanes are twice as strong as they were 6 decades ago.
Wow.
That's a heck of an increase, and of course they're blaming it on global warming, and they always are insinuating, of course, it's carbon induced. But really, as we've talked about, there's a lot of other things going on, as David Devine's always saying, Adapt 2030, it's the sun, stupid.
Yeah, it's the sun.
Yes. Well, they're definitely stronger. Ocean currents will be changing. Everything's going to change in this. And this is the thing that is scary, is we see more and more die-offs. You got bird flu, and you have transmission to humans over here in Russia. And, of course, everything is getting cold. Everything in the whole quote-unquote food chain, it seems. We've seen half of China's pigs, wiped out in 1 year. We've had so many different cullings of different birds. It's just, horrible what we're seeing going on globally.
It's so sad. It really is.
And we talked about it in the last video kind of plainly there. 31 dead in the Congo, as you have bubonic plague outbreak over there.
Ugh. That's all I got.
Yeah, the look on her face there, that's not nice. Bubonic plague is most scary, very, very much. One of the big, scariest events that mankind has seen in our recorded history. And then we have Israel being hit by the worst environmental disaster in decades. And apparently somebody just dumped oil and tar. That's what they're saying. Who knows? Dozens of tons of fresh tar lumps began landing on the beaches. And I have a video that I want to put up. We're going to go over it in detail, talking about, where you could see how this is an attack on the planet, the entirety of the planet, and all life in general.
It is really sad across the board.
So out of RT, we see NASA warning of stadium-sized asteroid heading towards Earth. And, RT, we take it with a grain of salt because, the closer one is going to be at about 3 moon lengths away. So that's not, we get 100, 120 a year that come within a lunar distance. So, it's fine. That's not going to do anything.
No, it won't.
It's the ones we don't see.
And then they don't tell us about them.
And we have dozens of pilot whales stranded in New Zealand. 9 perished, unfortunately. Just another mass stranding. We've had so many of these, all over the globe. And we have an airline encountering an unidentified, fast-moving, I'll just say it, cylindrical Draco-reptilian object over in New Mexico.
Imagine that.
Yeah, and we could share with you, like Cindy could see, there was 3 of them, like probing and prodding. It's amazing having a wife that is such an amazing channel.
Well, it's good and bad because then more things that are going on, and that can be disturbing in and of itself.
And I keep a timer running just so I know how long we're going, and I looked down at that point and it was 11:11 because we are being watched, and a lot of people felt this feeling of dread, sadness coming over them yesterday. We felt it. And we felt it. I didn't say anything, and then she said something about 10 minutes later, and I had started to feel it 10 minutes earlier. So we felt the same wave of energy coming over. We've talked about ships landing and these negative beings coming out and being amongst us, and looking for opportunities to create loosh, to create fear, to create all different negative energies, which is food for certain beings.
It is. And even look at your life circumstances. Are things happening to you that probably should not have happened and are very, very difficult to deal with? Just keep in mind that could be them coming in to create havoc on your life, just to eat your life force. So don't get angry.
Yeah, and we're definitely, major targets because, for years now I've been clearing places and people of negative entities, and Cindy and I have done, hundreds, maybe thousands of people. I mean, before me and Cindy were working as a team, I had already worked on probably thousands. And so obviously we would be a major target because we're constantly nudging them away from their food source, so to speak. And this is in northwest New Mexico. This is up very close to the Four Corners area. It was an Airbus A320 going between Cincinnati and Phoenix. And so this was just February 21st. And it's crazy to see and think that people don't believe there's anything out there. Some, but now we know, most people, there's more people that believe that there are ETs, UFOs, aliens, extraterrestrials than disbelieve. It's slowly getting into the public psyche that we're not alone. And when you look at all the cases and stuff of modern history, and then you go into the deep past and you just see these same stories all around the globe, it becomes pretty obvious that we've never been alone. And so, this was something similar to this was seen before in the same area. And this talks about, of course, we have bases here. We have the famous Dulce incident as well. And who knows what's in those underground bases.
I know there's a lot of things going on around us everywhere all the time.
And in case you don't know, Dulce was basically an incident where there was a shootout between the U.S. military and some Greys. Just a misunderstanding, but apparently, dozens of U.S. military people were lost, and with.
Can we say the name of the guy so other people can look it up?
Yeah, Phil Schneider, who's no longer with us, brought us that. But other people have commented and verified it as well. People that have come forward. And this is interesting because the meteorologists, scientists have no explanation for this. This is over in Alabama. crop circles frozen into the surface of an Alabama creek. It's got the meteorologist and social media baffled. It looks to me like tree rings, doesn't it? Like, it's curious. Some sort of message, perhaps. As we know, Emoto and water, could be being done by sound, vibration. Maybe Mother Earth herself is giving us a message.
Yeah, I feel like they're just sort of playing with the, what is that called? When a painter has something and they paint on the board, they're just having fun with it.
Maybe the elementals, because there are elemental beings that have consciousness that actually, maintain this world.
It's the canvas of Mother Earth.
It is. And so that's beautiful. Curious. Very, very curious. And look what we got over here. We have a yellow penguin. Yeah, never seen before. And they found this on an island in South Georgia. Now, that's South Georgia off the coast of South America, between Antarctica and South America. Yes, we've been talking about new forms of life. He's actually really cute, he or she.
Yeah. So we have blue dogs, yellow penguins, and I'm sure green bears are coming up.
Green bears, yeah, what's next? But there is all sorts of new forms of life popping up. We could see it. And I spoke about our Dr. Renee in Texas, who had sent me an article talking about 4-strand DNA verified. Boom, there you go. Scientific, pub article verified.
There it is.
Yep. And then we talked about Robert Felix with evolutionary changes during these times of grand solar minimum and pole reversal.
Yep, there it is.
Yep, there it is. So, guys, thanks for being part of the family. Make sure you are subscribed. Thanks for your support on Ko-Fi and Patreon, because we couldn't do it without you. And as the channel grows and they keep attacking the monetary aspect, dwindling it down, because they don't like the content, the powers that be, at least they're letting us do it for now. And we are on Bitchute and Brighteon as well, if anything ever happens here.
So thank you for your support so much.
Yes, and if you need to reach out and make a appointment with us, it's evolutionaryenergyarts at Gmail or EEARTS at protonmail.com. God bless and namaste.
God bless and namaste.